Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Today interview time. Today I have an interesting guest. He's a high school design and technology teacher from Australia, and at the same time he's a cricket coach who has been working with Mongolian Amateur Cricket Association and training two of Mongolian cricket coaches for the last 4 months. And let's welcome Mr. Robert Moran. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thank you for inviting me. I'm fine, thank you. Yeah.
Let's start talking about how you, in the first place, got involved with the Mongolian cricket.
Okay. What happens in Australia is the Australian government have initiatives for people to do volunteer work overseas, and the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade run it, and it's called Australian Volunteers for International Development. And they place volunteers like myself in countries overseas to help develop things like sports and technology to bring them up to world standard. So the whole process was that Australian Volunteers for International Development advertised a position. Many people applied for it. And then they went through the interview process. So we had to have telephone interview, hour and a half. We had to apply for the job. They looked at our CV, and then they chose some candidates. They sent those candidates over to Cricket Mongolia, and they selected me, fortunately, to come over here to help coach cricket in Mongolia.
Did you do anything like that before?
Yes, I've
coaching cricket coaches, mentoring them.
No, I haven't done
other countries.
No, I haven't done cricket coaching as such in other countries, but I have worked in Africa, in the Pacific, and in Asia previously as an aid worker.
So when you heard about Mongolia, you going to Mongolia, what did you think about, and what was the expectation? And when you come over here, what's the difference between expectation and the reality?
Okay, so the first thing is, when I read about cricket in Mongolia, I went, cricket Mongolia? What? Cricket in Mongolia? Yeah, how can that be? And I went, okay, so let's go and have a look. Let's investigate Cricket Mongolia and see if I can apply for it. So when I applied for it and I received it, and they gave me an outline of a briefing of what my job description was going to be over here. And so my briefing was to be a cricket coach mentor, so which entails mentoring or assisting the coaches that are presently here, so who are Anand and Dava, to progress their cricket further. So what my expectations was to be working with a lot of young people, possibly high school, teenage people, and the two coaches to advance cricket in Mongolia. And so the expectations were that. The reality was that I had to readjust my thinking because the cricket in Mongolia is based more at primary school age. So the youngest students. So we have some students that are 7 years old.
Right.
And
7 years old.
And that's quite comical, teaching or coaching the little kids. Yeah, and we also have right through to the Mongolian team. So you actually have a Mongolian national team, comprised of about 12 people, and so we've been coaching all the way from the Mongolian national team all the way through to kids that are about 7 years old. So so the expectations changed a little, and I had to readjust the program accordingly.
So you have to simplify it.
Yeah, we had to make it lots more simple, basics in cricket, and we had to make it a lot more fun because little kids want to be engaged with fun.
With fun,
yes. So and it's fun.
Not the rules and techniques.
No. So the older kids, we let them have a lot of fun initially, and then what we do is we bring the techniques into it at a later stage when they get a little bit older. So we call them different names. We call the little groups that we have different names, and we fly around like a Mongolian eagle, or we might roar like a tiger, and we have
you guys do that.
Yeah, so we have a lot of fun. We try to lose all our inhibitions and get down to the basic level of kids and have a lot of fun with them.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
So when you think about cricket in Mongolia, what would your advice be to develop cricket in Mongolia?
I think the future of cricket in Mongolia lies with the children that we've been coaching. Okay, so we've got two coaches at present. So we have Dava and Anand. Dava is a trained high school teacher in sports, and Dava knows a lot about technique and technical abilities in regards to cricket.
Right.
So the future of cricket lies with those two guys, and it's driven behind those two guys by Batul Gagombo, the president of the Amateur Cricket Association, Mongolian Amateur Cricket Association. And so those three guys are the driving force behind cricket. And I think the future lies with the younger generation taking up cricket, but we need community coaches. So we need our two coaches to coach other people. So what we're trying to do is, we're coming into the winter months now, and cricket is not played outside during winter. It's played indoor cricket. It's not like baseball. You can actually play cricket indoors.
Right.
So on Saturday mornings, we are just starting tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow?
Yes, we're starting tomorrow. We're going to be teaching the community members about cricket. So we're inviting all Mongolian people to come along, if they're interested in cricket, to come along and try it.
Right.
And if they like what they see, to come along and try and be a coach mentor and adopt a junior team and try and coach that junior team.
Oh, very nice. So how can they find you, the interested people? You just talked about indoor cricket.
Yep.
That we can play cricket indoor, even if it's cold outside. And how can they find you? Where you guys are establishing there?
Okay, if they do a Google search, Cricket Mongolia, we have a Facebook page as well.
Right.
So if they search that and then put a question up or ask us a question, we will respond accordingly and tell them where we are doing indoor cricket and where we are doing the coaching lessons.
Right.
And the people can come along and try it and get involved with cricket.
So you guys can go into this Facebook page and this web. You guys have website?
Yeah, we have a website. Yeah, just type in Cricket Mongolia.
Website, and you guys can find the places, obviously. And my next question is, what are the steps for Mongolian cricket team to compete in international level? I know it's kind of far-fetched dream at this moment, but what are these steps and where we are when the development of our teams and athletes concerned?
Well, right now we have a Mongolian 11, okay, but they wouldn't be competitive on the world stage because Mongolian cricket is brand new. Cricket's in its infancy here, so it's like a little baby, and we have to nurture it, and we have to grow it and develop it through the children of today and through our coaches. And by spreading the word of cricket and having community cricket coaches, the future of cricket can be developed through that way. But the best way for cricket to be seen very quickly on the international stage from Mongolian cricket path is indoor cricket and ladies cricket.
Ladies?
Yes.
Okay, ladies coming. Okay.
Yeah. So right now in Australia, there's the Ashes. That's a cricket match being played between the Australian women's team and the English women's team. And they're competing for what we call the Ashes.
Right.
Okay, and that's been a long-standing tradition between the Australian male team and the English male team.
And now the women's are competing.
The women are competing in that same sort of format for cricket.
Starting from what year?
They've been playing for a number of years now.
The females,
yes,
right.
yeah. And just last year, England won the Cricket World Cup. So there's a World Cup for cricket women, and there's a World Cup for cricket men. Okay.
And why do Mongolia have a much more chance for women cricket?
Okay.
Why would you say that?
There are less participants.
Okay.
So and so in the world stage, if we're talking about countries like India and China, they have cricket teams. India are the #1 team in the world at the moment. And India have more than 1 billion people.
Very few people.
Yeah, so they just have just a couple of people over there. But Mongolian cricket the male aspect can be developed as well, but because there are more male cricketers, obviously it's going to take a little bit longer. So I'm thinking we're going to be competing within 5 years in the international stage, and within 10 years we'll be competitive.
Competitive, right.
Yes.
In 10 years?
In 10 years' time.
More realistic.
Yeah,
right.
we're looking at that's a short-term goal, 10 years. Okay. Long-term goal is that, say in 20 years, that we can be really competitive in the World Cup. So there are different levels of cricket. There are different divisions, and there are Ireland and Afghanistan have just been granted test status, which means that they can play in the 5-day format of cricket, because cricket doesn't just come in one format. It comes in 4 different types of cricket.
Formats.
Yeah, 4 different types. So we have a 5-day cricket, we have 1-day cricket, we have this game called T20 cricket, which starts and finishes within 3 hours, and indoor cricket. So, and I think the future of Mongolian cricket for every aspect is indoor cricket, because it's cold during winter, and it gives you a long practice sessions during the winter months. So indoor cricket is the future of cricket for Mongolia now.
As the hobby, you practice cricket for many years.
Yes. Yeah.
Why cricket? Why should people play cricket? What's the fun in it?
Cricket is a sport where you have individual skills in a team-based environment. So it's not where you have to rely on somebody else to pass you the ball to score a goal. You can actually score that goal yourself if you're playing by yourself. But you're playing in a team environment where you have skills where you can bowl or bat, and then everybody participates as a team to actually field the ball, to catch the ball, so that you can get the other team out. So it's a team-based sport, but with individual skills. And I think that's something Mongolians are really good at.
Individual skills.
Individual skills, yeah.
Right.
So and then bringing them together as a team will help develop leadership within the Mongolian community, and help develop a different style of thinking that's I guess not seen right now. You know. So,
sure.
Yeah.
And you've worked in Mongolia for the last 4 years, 4 months.
4 months, yes.
Can you share one of your funny moments with our audience when you are working with Mongolian kids or Mongolian coaches?
Okay. There was a really funny incident. We were working at Narumdal International Children's Centre.
Narumdal.
Yeah, Narumdal,
right.
yeah. And it was during the summer months when the schools were closed, and we were working with orphanages and the International Children's Centre. And we'd had these students for a few days. There was one particular student I noticed had a great deal of skill. And I went across to him, and I was talking technique, and because I don't speak Mongolian, I was having this communication breakdown. And I thought the young man didn't quite understand everything that I was saying. So I went and got one of the Mongolian coaches, Anand, and I went to Anand and said, can you come across and explain this to him in Mongolian so that the message gets across, because he's got quite a bit of talent, this young man. And Anand spent the next 5-6 minutes explaining everything that he needed to do for this young man to develop his cricket. And then the young man came across, and he walked across, and he grabbed me by the shirt, and he tugged on my shirt, and he said, Mr. Rob. And I said, yes. He goes, I didn't understand anything he was saying. I only speak English.
Wow. English?
Yes.
So he was speaking in English. He only spoke English.
Only spoke English, yeah.
And you expected him to speak Mongolian.
Well, he was Mongolian.
Yes,
So just that the parents had been studying overseas for the last number of years. And so his Mongolian wasn't perfect because he'd been overseas. And he'd come back they brought him back to Mongolia so he can develop his Mongolian skills as well. All right. But it was like the boot was on the other foot. It was like a crossover for me, because normally it's me who's having to struggle with the language barrier. And this time it was the opposite. It was where
the reverse.
The reverse for me, yeah.
It's funny.
It really.
You also came with one very funny short video, and we will show you that now. Well, okay, did it hurt?
Yes, well,
I mean,
the
it's funny, and especially that guy in the backside.
He's one of the coaches, Dava.
He's the Dava.
Yeah, he's Dava. He's one of the coaches, and he had no sympathy. You could see the expression.
Yes, no sympathy at all. He's smiling.
So what happened that day? We've been making some videos instructional videos to give to Mongolian schools about cricket and the techniques used for developing cricket.
Okay.
And I just tried to stay in the background because obviously we want to use Mongolian people. And I was trying to hide, but as Batuga was talking, they did some filming and he said, okay, so what we're going to do is throw a few balls to you and you just play some shots and we'll just do some, little bit of footage of you, a coach playing some shots, And if you could see in the footage there, we wear a helmet, we wear gloves, we wear pads, and we also wear a protector to protect our mid-region.
Yes.
On that particular day, I wasn't wearing one.
It seems like it.
And so, so they were filming and they were throwing the balls to me and I just completely missed the ball and it hit me in the midsection. And it wasn't funny at the time.
Yes.
But looking back now, it's quite comical now.
Yes.
And I can have a good laugh at myself and a few of my friends have seen it and they had a good laugh at me as well.
So it was your fault that you couldn't catch the ball, or the guy who threw the ball?
No, it was my fault. I had a bat in my hand and I was trying to hit it.
And
I missed the ball. I misjudged the speed of the ball and it was faster than I thought, yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah.
Well, you've worked 4 months, and will you come back to Mongolia?
I'm hope to be able to bring one of the international teams back, not a national team, but an international team who plays in England every 2 years. And I'm hoping to be able to bring the Bradman Foundation 11 back to Mongolia to play against the Mongolian 11.
So they are Australian team?
They're an Australian team based in Bowral in New South Wales, and they're a charity team.
Charity.
Yeah, but there's some exceptional players in that team. And in 2 years' time, in 2019, when they go over to play and watch the Ashes, so they go over to play a few games and watch a bit of cricket over there at the same time. And hopefully I can bring them back and bring them to Mongolia. And in 2 years' time, we'll see how the level of cricket in Mongolia has increased and got better. Yeah.
That will be very good experience for our athletes as well.
Yes.
To compete with these international teams, right?
Yes, it would be. I invite any person who knows somebody in an international team, like from Hong Kong or from Singapore or from any of the cricket playing countries, to come along to Mongolia and have a game against the Mongolian national team.
Well, it sounds great.
Yeah,
yes.
It should be fun.
And unfortunately, we have only 20 minutes, and this is the end of our show. And I would like to leave the last minute to you. If there's anything you would like to say to our Mongolian audience or international audience.
Yep. I'd just like to say thank you to Mongolian Cricket for inviting me here. It's been a pleasure being here and working with all the Mongolian children, the Mongolian coaches. Everybody has been so hospitable and friendly. It's made it almost like I haven't left Australia.
Oh,
okay,
that's very
so
nice.
I've been invited to lots of different occasions. I particularly want to thank Batuga Gombo and the 3 ambassadors who have assisted us this year. Wow. So we've had the Australian ambassador, the Indian ambassador and the English ambassador who have been fully supportive of cricket in Mongolia.
Oh,
and
nice.
so they have functions, they try and help out and show forth the vision that we have in regards to cricket Mongolia and making Mongolia a international team to be feared.
Yes.
Like Genghis Khan.
Oh, that's nice. Very nice compliment. Well, thank you, sir.
No worries. Thank you for the
good
time.
luck, and we will see each other when you come back.
That'd be fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And that's all for today. Thank you for being with us. You're watching Today. We will see you on next Tuesday with more news and updates, as you guys know. Have a good one. Bye-bye.